Hi, welcome everyone. It's Mike Newton here at Lytham Golf Academy. I've got a little head-to-head with some big boys here from TaylorMade. So obviously we've just done the review. You can go and check that out on my channel of the new M CGB Iron. So obviously an iron that's packed full of TaylorMade's technology over the last few years. Very big sort of head shape here, ultimate forgiveness, ultimate ball speeds across the face, they're claiming. And we're going to put it up against the M2. Now, obviously, M2 has been extremely popular. You know, it's a long-hitting iron. Yes, it's a very strong lofted golf club here. We've got face slots, sole slots, a lot of geoacoustic technology in here, which is sort of which is obviously the sound of the golf club, which is what also is in the CGB Iron. So I'm interested to see maybe how this CGB fits in that M family. So if we've got M1 as well, which is that smaller, compact design. Compared to M2. CGB is the other end of the scale, where it's just big, chunky, ultimate forgiveness, let's say high ball flights. Now, M2 obviously TaylorMade claimed was high ball flight, and we have seen that through fitting. So yes, it's 28.5 degree loft 7 iron, but it does flight the ball extremely sort of high. Now the CGB is 29.5, so it's 1 degree weaker than M2. And again, it's claiming to flight the ball extremely high. Now, I did see that in my review. It was peaking out very, very high there. Very high sort of hanging ball flight, really. And I was quite impressed with the ball speed there. And we did a little bit of testing of maybe off-centre hits there. So again, go and check that out if you want to. And I'm going to put it up against M2 here. So we're going to maybe just hit some as good a strikes as I can with both. Same shaft in both of these heads, both 2 degrees upright. And we're going to just compare some numbers and see how the peak height is, how the spin it is, and maybe just give you guys a little bit of feedback on the looks behind the golf ball, and maybe that little bit of forgiveness if I venture away, which I'm sure I will do, from the middle of the golf club. So let's get started, and we'll hit the M2 iron first, and then we'll hit some with the CGB and look at some numbers. Okay, so we're going to start with the M2 iron here. So as we say, 7 iron here, 28.5 degrees of loss. So we know it's a strong lofted golf club. Look behind the golf ball, you know, it's a thickish top line, bit of offset there. It's not massively, I think it's quite a nice looking iron. For game improvement iron, we know it's a top edge, thick top edge, but it's not a huge looking golf club. Okay, so we'll get this first one hit here. So I'm 180 yards from the green here. Yeah, so it's quite a loud sound there, to be honest. And I've always sort of felt that with the M2. It's quite a loud sort of sound to it. I carried at 180 on. Just push that a little bit there. Yeah, I struck that one really well. Very high on its ball flight. Yeah, so that's carried out a bit further there, better strike there. 185 carry, that's long, is that? 130.7 ball speed, that's pretty hot. Okay, so again, I'm going to be really interested to see differences of ball speed here with this and CGB, because obviously the CGB, the TaylorMade claim is 2mm thick right across the face here. So maybe helping more on off-centre hits, possibly a little bit more than central hits there. Okay, so that was a little bit heavy, that wasn't the best strike. Wow, I'll tell you what, that's come out, I've just overdrawn that, so it's 185 carry there. Spin wasn't bad at just under 6,000, that wasn't the perfect strike there, but that's done really quite well. Obviously squeezed a few yards out there because I've just hit a little draw shape on it, but I wasn't expecting that to get out there as far there, so you know, M2 is forgiving. It is a forgiving iron. We definitely see that through fittings, and obviously performs extremely well for a lot of the club golfers here, just striving for some more yards, striving for some more distance. Obviously keeping that 7 iron length iron, that shorter iron in the hands, they can pick up more distance. So they're going in with into the greens with a shorter club, as opposed to, you know, obviously their old sets possibly going with 6 iron or 5 iron, they're going with 7 iron, which is a huge difference for a lot of golfers. And I know sometimes you look at spin numbers and it drops and you think, look at control, but some guys just want pure distance, you know, and that's really at the end of the day is what they want. And, you know, and that's what we can sort of give them with technology like what TaylorMade are offering. Okay, not a bad strike, a little bit lower in the face there. Visually looks good. Again, it's out there, you know, 185 again, was it? Yeah, 185 carry again. That's long. You know, we know it's long, 128.2 ball speed. So we're seeing some fast ball speeds with M2. We expect that, we know that. We know through the review I've done of the CGB, we'll get some fast ball speeds, but let's be really interested to see these two together here. So let's get CGB in our hands, we'll hit some shots with that, and we'll look at some numbers in a bit more detail. So CGB in our hands here now, and first thing I see differently here is that top edge is thicker, a bit more offset, a very chunky look, just huge chunky look, very large appearance behind by the golf ball, big profile, looks ultimately forgiving here. And obviously, you know, again, I've done a review which goes into a little bit more detail, which you can go and check that out in terms of the tech behind it with the tungsten weight, multi-material, face slots, sole slots, sort of dual slots inside the head. There's everything going on this, but definitely a larger, thicker appearance behind the golf ball here. So let's get this first one hit. That's a lovely strike, lovely ball flight. I mean, it's high, it's high. 170. That come out 177 carry there. I thought I might get a bit more than that, to be honest. Okay, maybe didn't quite get that as flush as what I thought. Yeah, just had a little bit of fade on it, probably just lost a few yards there. Okay, bit toey that one. Flight wise, really good. Yeah, that's getting out there. Again, that didn't feel a perfect strike there. 183 carry, that's good. 131 ball speed. That wasn't a perfect strike there, and that's I think that's the fastest ball speed out of a lot. We'll have a look in a bit. That is fast. For a missed strike, that is fast. Okay. Again, it's not a perfect strike there by any means, but it's getting, you know, 178 carry there. I've just caught that a fraction heavy. I know I'm just not quite getting that. It's nearly 127 ball speed though. It's quick, you know. I think it's definitely, you know, I'm probably not striking that as good as the M2 there, but I don't know why, just not quite getting it as good. But I'm definitely still getting the same distance there because of probably the technology in the head here against the M2. You know, the ball speed is quick. It's across the face. It's really, really quick. Yeah, again, it's not bad. It's not a perfect strike, but that's pretty good there. Quite happy with that 180 just over carry there. So we've seen a high ball flight. As I say, I'm not struck that as good as maybe the M2 there, but we've seen some, you know, hitting the green, still some decent distances there, through some maybe not quite perfect strikes there. But let's have a look at some numbers in a little bit more detail and see if there's any differences between those two irons. Okay, so let's look at some numbers here. So M2 on the top, CGB on the bottom. So look at club head speed first. So just short of 96 against 96.3. So very little in it in terms of club head speed, as you'd expect. Ball speed 129.4 against 128, so 1.5 mile an hour quicker with M2. Now, I did strike those a lot better. You know, the 4 really, really good strikes there against the CGB, where I didn't quite get as much. So efficiency is a little bit better with M2 there, purely on strikes. M2's launched, I mean, pretty much the same. There's only 0.3 of a degree difference between those two. Probably a fraction low M2. Again, it's 1 degree strong on the loft. Spin number wise, 5.8 against 6.2. So again, it's quite an interesting number, that 6.2 for an iron that's quite powerful, generally associated with a really low spin. That's quite an acceptable spin number there. So maybe again the difference there just being that 1 degree of loft there, making that bit of spin change. Both peaking out 40 yards, so it's a very high ball flight with both, and that's exactly what TaylorMade are claiming. You know, both high ball flights. They are claiming that CGB is the highest out of all the irons that they've sort of made in the last few years. Having said that, it really depends on your delivery, doesn't it? Your strike, your delivery, and basically how high that goes. So equal test between these two. I'm not seeing much difference there. Distance number wise, 183 against 179, probably just purely on that strike there. You can see carries 180, 184, 184, 184, really consistent there. Just dropped off a little bit there with CGB. Again, just my own strike personally. Okay guys, so there we go, M2 against MCGB. Really this video is just for me to see where this sits in the range, and I think looking at number wise there, yes I did strike M2 probably better than CGB there, which is maybe bunch these numbers a bit closer together. There isn't a huge difference of ball speed, distance there. I'll probably say if I struck those similar to M2, I'm guessing there's not a massive amount in it. But I think it is sitting in a different bracket, and what will just sort of sit it into the family a little bit more is bigger appearance behind the ball, definitely, yeah. You know, it is larger behind that golf ball. Very much more confidence inspiring than M2 behind that golf ball. Maybe look at, and probably this could be another test on its own, miss hits, and I'm guessing this is probably going to keep the ball speed up, because I did miss hit this a bit more than M2. Yeah, there's a little bit of drop off on ball speed there than M2, purely strikes here, but as I saw in my review there, I did hit one off toe, one off heel on purpose, and we saw some drop off on ball speed, as you expect. You're never going to get it the same. Ball speed is absolutely plumb in the middle. But it was still a fast ball speed for a 7-iron, you know, it was fast for me. The spin was quite interesting there at 6.2, you know, it's not a very low spin. I was sort of expecting that. It's not there, but, you know, TaylorMade is saying the CG placement is really low in the club here. So this is where also the ball flight is getting up quite high, and maybe where the spin is just sort of keeping up there really, which is nice, because, you know, it's getting that high ball flight. It's going to stop that iron is going to stop, you know, where, you know, sometimes the M2 there at 5.8 is starting to get a little bit tricky if the greens are firm, downwind scenario when you're out on the golf course in a gaming situation, might be a little bit more struggle to stop it. So spin number wise, really, really nice for that CGB. So I think it has got a placement there. It's hitting a slightly different golf who wants ultimate forgiveness. Maybe somebody who spreads the strike pattern a lot more is probably going to go into CGB more than maybe M2. Interesting one, but let me know your thoughts. You comment down below. You know, do you think is a placement for CGB there in the family? You know, it's an interesting one really. Let's hear your thoughts. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching. Do hit that subscribe button, which is going to be up there somewhere. I do appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up, share the video around, and hopefully I'll catch up with you all very soon.